Well, hey guys, welcome to the TD show. We're minus one guy today. Devin, he's actually out on some personal matters, so he'll be back next week. So Todd and I will be here today, and we'll cover what we're going to cover. But first, before we get into the agenda for today, I just kind of wanted to briefly touch on Todd and I's goal. Devin's goal is for this show is hopefully to gain listeners and hopefully entertain people for an hour, every once a week, and talk on a plethora of subjects, from sports to movies or a movie review, or like today, actually one of our topics will cover like some cartoon shows from the past, and actually I'll cover Devin's part that I know he watched, but we'll have a segment each week, maybe different from sports, or it might be all of sports, but
all kinds of the goal subjects.
I'm sorry?
All kinds of different subjects.
Yeah. So, the goal is obviously to entertain everybody, and hopefully we keep getting better and better, and everybody will get a laugh out of us sometimes when we make our mistakes. But, I just wanted to touch on that before we go into it. But today, I think we were going to talk a little bit about golf. Obviously, the NFL football schedule came out yesterday. That'll be the big bulk of this show. But we were able to golf today, Todd, so that was pretty good.
That was awesome. Our governor lifted the golf ban, so we were free to go out and get outside. And it wasn't sunny, but it was good to be outside.
We were able to do something other than watch TV, so exactly. That was exactly. I like that
very much. Yep.
Yeah. You can only watch so many of the same shows over and over, and the old sports casts of different things that went on. So it was nice to play. It wasn't the best round of golf, but it was fun. So. Hopefully we'll get to play some more now that we're allowed to go outside again.
And we didn't get rained on too much.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't too bad. So, Devin, of course, beat us, so that's fun for him. So it's too bad he can't chime in on that today. But I'm sure I'll catch all of that as the week goes on, as how he beats me all the time. But anyways, golf-wise, in the month of May, there's actually two events going on.
Events.
Obviously, the big one, with Tiger and Phil and Peyton and Brady, which is on the 24th. Which I think they're simulcasting it on TBS and TNT for that day. So that should be worthy, because Peyton Manning definitely has a second career.
What day are those again? Do you remember?
Well, the one I just said on May 24th is the Tiger and Peyton versus Phil and Tom Brady.
Okay.
Then the other one is actually the week before, on May 17th, which is Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, and actually the 2019 NCAA national champion Matthew Wolff. So that's actually United Healthcare is sponsoring that. It's a little less pot, but it's a $3 million charity relief. Obviously, all of it's going to COVID-19 relief efforts to help out there. Yeah. And the other thing, the 24th for the big match there with Tiger and Phil and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, some of that $10 million that it's charity, which is surprising, is coming out of their pockets, which, you would hope. I think they all have a few bucks that they could spend.
Oh yeah, well, especially Tiger. I think Tiger can afford it.
Yeah. I think he could front him and Phil. All the second place finishes Phil's done in his career.
Exactly.
I'd be more than happy to be second place.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other thing, that event's down there at the Metals Golf Club in Hobe Sound, Florida.
So
and then the one on the 17th is actually at Seminole Golf Club. I think that's like up closer to Orlando or Tampa area.
Okay. So who you got? You got Phil and Tom, or Peyton, or
It's Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady, and Tiger and Peyton Manning. So the funny thing, I heard the other day that I think Brady shot a 106 on that course that they're playing, and Peyton Manning used all of his balls before the 18 holes was finished.
Oh wow!
So, and I thought they were fairly decent golfers.
I thought both of them were decent.
Yeah. Well, let's figure. If you and I were shooting at that golf club, we'd probably shoot like a 140 or higher. playing from their tees. I'm sure they're all playing from the same tees and everything, but that'll be entertaining. I'm sure there'll be, if it's like the first one, which I'm hoping they'll have them mic'd up, and there's little side bets going on that Tiger and Phil were doing. I mean, I don't know if you watched that one. It was like, what was it, 2 years ago or whatever, where when they were mic'd up, it's like they're betting $150,000 a hole.
Yeah, so, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish I had that kind of money to just throw out on the golf course. So
exactly.
Yeah. but no, at least there's some real sports this month. That we can actually watch. It won't be fans on the course, but at least we can watch it. It's not the 2015 Masters or something like that we got to watch.
It isn't a rerun or whatever from a game that happened 10 years ago. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, you can only watch so much. It's cool that every once in a while, but it's like even Sports Center has stuff from that are updating this day in history and everything.
Right, exactly.
So. But no, that's and I think the good thing about golf, hopefully, I think the first first tournament for golf is in June. I think that's when they start back up, and then, if I'm not mistaken,
I think you're right.
And I think it's U.S. Open is in August, and then I think the PGA Championship, or it's either the U.S. Open or PGA Championships first. I know they flop those around, but they're pretty quick within each other. And obviously, it's finishing up with the Masters in November, which I think that'll actually be kind of cool. To have it.
The only thing is, like, it's during football season, so.
That's
usually they're not competing with football, and football's king. So interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. But that's a good point, and you figure all the other things too. NBA,
like
NHL.
It's the first weekend in November, right?
I think it is either the first or second week of it. I know it's before Thanksgiving, so
the last Sunday of the Masters, the Steelers are playing. What are you watching?
I'm watching football.
Right.
I'll flip around. If it's in between commercials.
But I won't be tuned in like it is in April. When it's in April.
No.
I'm tuned in.
It's in May. Yeah, that's the other thing, and I think also it's like, what is it, the Kentucky Derby is in September.
Yeah, it's so weird. That's another thing. All these events are getting pushed back. It'd be interesting to see what hockey does, and if they're still trying to finish their season.
Well, I just saw something today for the NHL that they're trying to do some kind of, I forget what it was, some kind of so many teams, but where the 5th and 12th seed would be doing a 1-game playoff to go on to the next round. I saw that today, actually. Wow. I forget what I was reading up on it. And the other thing with the NHL, I think, is they're going to do, if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to do it in like 4 or 5 different locations. That's where they're going to play. It's not going to be everywhere, and they're not going to have any fans. And then, like, baseball, I think baseball was looking to shoot, their target date is July 1st. So I guess spring training would be June. So there's it's a lot of stuff that's like you, to your point, once football kicks in, the NHL, NBA, they can hang. The NCAA, they can hang.
I heard they're both, at least the NBA is thinking of starting in December. So in July or August, finish their season, and then don't start till December, and keep that schedule from now on. Did you hear that?
Yeah. No, I heard the NHL, I think, would push theirs to December too because of this.
I wasn't sure if NHL said, but I heard NBA was definitely thinking about it. That would be kind of cool.
I agree,
because you have college football, you got NFL football during September, October, November, December, and January, and a little bit of February. It makes the summer have more sports, which I like.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Instead of beginning of June,
and also that lets the NFL and NCAA college football kick in and really get anything really you're competing against. There is the Major League Baseball playoffs, but it's not so much.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah. And it kind of gives you, like, if the NBA is starting like November or December and the NHL is, it kind of makes those other months after football's over, it's kind of in the swing of things too. You've had a couple months, they're into it. And, because usually, like, I don't know about you, but like when the NHL starts in October and the NBA starts in October, yeah, it's great first game, but it's like there's so many of them. It's like I'm focused on football. I'm looking at whatever the Terps are doing, whatever the Steelers are doing. You're looking at the Redskins, and Devin's looking at Ohio State, and
well,
it's
to
like
be honest with you,
I don't know.
In early NBA and early hockey seasons, the games aren't really that important. But when you have college football and NFL games, those games are way more important, just for the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Hockey really doesn't start up till after January. The new as far as important games.
Yeah, mid to late January is when it really starts kicking in. Heading into the playoff. So it'll be interesting though to see how all that
plays out.
Pans out. Yeah. Is it hopefully it'll keep getting back to normal where we won't, keep getting like what they said. Was it the Korean Pro Baseball League?
Did you see that? It was on ESPN2 today.
Yeah.
When I got home from golf. Did you see it?
I haven't watched it.
I watched like 10 minutes of it. It was boring. Like, I couldn't. I was like, I tried, but I was like, oh, you kidding me? This isn't the same.
Yeah. Because you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And also they said if somebody, like, I guess the way they're monitoring is they're taking temperatures of everybody like every couple hours. If somebody has their symptoms or whatever, shutting it down. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting how all this pans out too. Like for NFL, as we're getting ready to, as we talk about that in a little bit, is I heard that season ticket holders would be the only ones going to games, and the normal fan like you and I that don't have season tickets couldn't go, which I'm hoping when the Redskins play the Steelers, as we'll talk about in a little bit later in the year, I'm hoping by that point it'd be great. But I know with the COVID-19, that vaccine, I think, is not like they're talking January might be when.
I mean, I'm not sure. It just seems like to me to plan anything right now for December seems way premature.
Yeah.
As far as if you're going to cancel football, who can go, who can't go. I get why the NHL and NBA are doing it because they want to finish their seasons that came to a halt.
Yeah.
They need that
Football's
break.
done.
They need that break, but I just don't see. I know a lot of experts are saying that we're going to have this in the fall, but I just can't imagine us having the same response that we had because before we didn't know it was coming. No one knew about the same thing.
No.
Now we know how to treat it. We know that it affects mostly the older. There's things we can do to be smart, and obviously things are going to change. But I don't know. I'm just hoping that it doesn't affect it the way people are talking now. I think it's premature.
Yeah.
No one knows the future.
No.
But I hope we get to go to that game because I mean we've been to some good Steelers Redskins games in the past.
The best one that we went to is years ago. So I mean, when we had a good group of our friends, and even playing golf today, it was just didn't feel the same because it's like, there's like there's just unknown everything. Like, well, I get to go play again, or are they going to shut it down for something else?
Right.
And it'll be interesting. But anyways, so the one thing though that I didn't touch on at the beginning was is how we'll go the way we're going to cover the NFL. And my thought is the way we wanted to cover was like each week we'll have a segment where we're going to break down each division. The NFC East, I know the AFC North, but what we'll do, and when Devin, will be on the show next week, we'll cover, one of the other divisions. We're going to really break down our two divisions because we know them so well. But we want to break down the NFL, and the other divisions there, the AFC West, the AFC East, the NFC West, the North, and then, just see, who we think is going to come out of those. But, lo and behold, though, the schedule came out last night, and it was, there's things leaked for the NFL there, for the 2020 schedule, which I was excited just to see something last night, watching it and looking at it. It got me pumped up to look forward to the season. I was ready to watch football, and I think there were some really good matchups that are upcoming. And today, we can, on this schedule, I want to get your thoughts on the NFL schedule, what you think, what your team thinks. I will say that on the way back from golf today, Devin and I had a chance to listen to I listened to Pittsburgh station on, through my phone, and they didn't have too many choice words about what they thought the Redskins-Steeler game was going to be, which I was really shocked. But then on top of that, and I know I want to have you chime in on this, but I'm shocked. Even the Baltimore station, Baltimore station doesn't think anything of the Redskins offense. They think they're just putrid at most, and they're not going to do well. And I disagree. I mean I don't know, stations.
To be honest with you, I don't know how good our offense is going to be, but I have a good feeling about our defense is going to keep us in games. Now, I don't know if that'll translate to wins, but I think we'll play better just because Ron Rivera is our coach and Jack Del Rio is the defense coordinator. So I think that side of the ball will be a lot better. So you're not just going to drop 40 on us every fucking week. Offensively, it's Dwayne Haskins. If he can play better, more consistent, we'll be a good team. That's you don't have a quarterback in this league. It's tough on offenses, and I think he showed promise the last couple games, but that sample size is too small to really say. But I like the fact you see him working out, you see him digesting the playbook through Zoom. He's going through meetings. I mean, I don't expect too much out of him this year, but I hope to see growth. I mean, we only won 3 games last year.
Right. So, I mean, I think everything's up from there. And, as we talk about our two teams' schedules today and some of the other teams' schedules, I mean, I disagreed with Baltimore and I disagreed with my own Pittsburgh station. I don't think the Redskins, I agree with you. And last time I checked, and I'm sure you would agree, defense wins championships. Pittsburgh definitely knows that. Bill Cowher won 1 Super Bowl, but he was in the playoffs more than half of his tenure because he had great defenses. And we had Dick LeBeau. We had Kent Graham as our quarterback at one point back then.
And the NFL is week to week. So come December 6th, is Ben Roethlisberger playing?
Yeah, he's throwing regularly. I think it's like 3 times a week.
What I'm trying to say is he going to be able to make it through the season? He got hurt last year. He's getting older. So the NFL season is week to week, depending on who's healthy, who's playing. Yeah. So you can look at your teams on paper, but if you're missing a key piece one week, a lesser team can beat you.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, I mean, with Ben, it's unknown because he had a major injury, like a pitcher. That's like, but that same surgery for a pitcher, as 9 times out of 10 has made them better. Right. So Ben has said he feels younger, but Ben is Ben, and he's going to talk positive, but it's not a guarantee he's going to come back and be the Ben Roethlisberger he was a couple years ago when he threw for 5,000 yards, over 5,000 yards. Right. So, I mean, as I say, I'm optimistic that the Steelers are going to be better with Ben, of course. I mean, because mediocre. What's the guy? I don't even remember my quarterback's name because he sucks. Honestly, I mean,
Randolph?
Mason Rudolph, mediocre Mason, as they called him today, and I agree 100%. He's not the quarterback.
You guys have a third string quarterback?
What's that?
You have a third string quarterback?
Well, that was Devlin Hodges, or Duck Hodges, as we called him.
So that's Duck right, Hunter. Duck. I forgot about the Duck.
Yeah, yeah. But I was going to say, I want no part of either one of them. And I'm curious because, like, is somebody like Cam Newton, if he's able to take a backup role, I'd take him. But you don't know about him.
Yeah, he'd actually be good at your offense, I think. Because you guys like to run the ball, play good defense. Yeah. I mean, obviously Ben's better, but if Ben's you got to have an insurance policy for Ben.
Yeah. I'm worried about that because Ben is 38 years old, or 37, I think, or 38, and he's done enough for us where I was shocked that we did not, like, Andy Dalton was there, and I would have went after that. And supposedly we did offer that, and he took a lesser deal.
Okay. Huh.
Because he lives in, he's got a home in Texas. He went to TCU.
I'm actually surprised. I would have took him. I'm actually surprised he actually took a backup. Like, he could go into New England and competed for a first starter. Yeah. I'm thinking he would have went there.
I think the Cowboys beat Bill Belichick to the punch, and Andy Dalton he actually came out and said it. Andy Dalton came out and said that he has a home in Texas, and because of the situation at hand, the pandemic, with moving and everything like that, it was much easier to take that deal. So if we were in normal circumstances, I bet you he would have went to New England, or we would have had him because there was talk we offered him a more lucrative deal. Jameis Winston, supposedly, now it was rumored, and it's still rumored, that we offered him a more lucrative deal, but it's not. The rumors aren't strong enough, and I don't think I'd want him. I just don't. 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean he's got a upside as far as touchdown passes, but he turns the ball over, like you said, interceptions.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, the Redskins. I mean, I think Steve Smith Sr., as he likes to be called in the NFL Network, said that he's convinced that Kyle. Oh man, I'm lost for words today. Your quarterback that you picked up there from Carolina. Not Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle.
I'm sorry.
Kyle Allen.
Yes. I'm bad words today, or there's players, but yeah, he's convinced that he'll be your starter at the beginning of the year.
I mean, if they don't have the practice time, they might be right because Dwayne has to learn the offense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think to give up on Dwayne Haskins. I mean, I think, like you said, the sample size was not enough. And
Well, it's not necessarily giving up on him. It's just that Kyle Allen's had a year under his belt in this offense, where Dwayne's just picking up in the last month or two, maybe 3 months at the most.
And people dog Kyle Allen, and it's like he didn't really have anybody to throw to last year. He did have Christian McCaffrey, though. So
I thought for a rookie, he played well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I at least give him a chance. So, I mean, at least you have somebody established. I'll take him over the two jokers that I have at quarterback behind Ben. Mason Rudolph, got his head taken off by Myles Garrett. And, Duck Hodges he's not the quarterback, and it just, I don't understand why we do that. It's Pittsburgh way. We had a chance to get Dan Marino and passed up on him. And we spent the next 20 years with all kinds of quarterbacks of the likes of Mike Tomczak, Kent Graham, Bubby Brister, Mark Malone, Cordell Stewart. God, I know I'm missing probably a couple other rejects in that group, but Bubby Brister did all right for a couple years, playoffs, because he actually had a defense. And Mark Malone, he's a better golfer. I think he's a better golfer, or he's just a better commentator than he was a quarterback.
Right.
My dad couldn't stand him. I do remember that. My dad couldn't pronounce Bubby Brister's name either, which was pretty hilarious. But I remember Kent Graham, he sucked, and Mike Tomczak was he wasn't a Mike Tomczak on the '85 Bears. No. So but anyways, let's get into the schedule a little bit.
All right.
What do you think about your guys? We can start with you. I mean, what do you think about the Redskins schedule?
Well, I like starting the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
Yeah, that's. You guys open up a lot like that, right?
Yes. Well, last year we opened in Philadelphia. So, and I like.
That's right.
Yeah. So I like the fact that we opened with Philly. Early in the season, offense is not as good, so their offense won't be clicking all cylinders like they will 2 or 3 weeks later. So we might be able to catch them if our defense can keep it close. But if I had to bet, that's a winnable game for them. I mean, they're already 6 points favorites. So if I have to say, that's probably a loss for us.
I think the Eagles are overrated, to be honest. I mean, Carson Wentz has been injured for most of the last 2 years. And Nick Foles won that Super Bowl, not him. I mean, he helped get him there, but he's injured. So to me, I don't think he's proven enough that he's a consistent and reliable guy that can play the whole year for you. And
I agree with that.
What's that?
I agree with that. He hasn't been healthy. I think only one season he's got through without getting hurt.
Yeah. I mean, he's great when he plays, but it's like the consistency factor, I think, plays a role. And you get Jalen Hurts. He's a college quarterback. I like him, but how's he going to do in the NFL? You know, like
Exactly.
to your point, having Montez Sweat and Chase Young coming from both angles, we'll see how the NFL fares for him and Carson Wentz. And my opinion, this is me, and I'm not just saying this because we're friends, but the fact is that I think the Redskins are going to be way more improved than the 3-13 record. I think you're going to have if your defense keeps you in the games and you have some kind of a running game.
Well,
I mean,
let's run down the schedule real quick. We'll do it real quick, and you tell me
yeah,
a win or loss. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So Eagles at
I'm
home.
going to go with a win for the Redskins.
So we're 1-0.
Yep.
Cardinals in Arizona.
Loss.
Browns at the Browns.
That's a toss up. Depending on which quarterback comes out for the Browns. If Baker Mayfield comes out like 2 years ago, it's a win for the Browns.
So,
I'm going to go with a win for the Browns. That's a loss.
So that's 1-2.
Yep.
Ravens Redskins in Washington.
Ravens Redskins. That's a loss.
So 1-3. Rams Redskins at Washington.
That's a win.
All right. Giants Redskins in New York.
Win.
So it's 2 and. So you say Rams to win or?
Yeah, Rams will win. So you're 3-3.
3-3. Cowboys Redskins at Washington.
Loss.
Giants Redskins at Washington.
Win.
All right. Redskins Lions at Detroit.
Win.
Redskins Bengals at
Win.
Washington.
Bengals suck.
All
Win.
Right. Redskins Cowboys in Dallas. Thanksgiving.
Loss.
Okay.
Loss.
Steelers Redskins in Pittsburgh.
We know what that's going to be, so that's a loss. So
okay, Redskins 49ers in San Fran.
That's a loss.
Seahawks Redskins in Washington.
Loss.
Panthers Redskins at Washington.
Win. Definitely win there. He's going against a former team.
We end it with Redskins Eagles in Philly.
I think it's a win. I think that's how Ron Rivera is going to see how the season goes, and I think you guys are going to still be in the hunt because last year, you know, was it the Eagles and the Cowboys were in the hunt with 8-8 or 7-9? I think that division is still going to be similar to that this year.
So you have
and I think
you have a 7-9, or you have actually with us beating the Eagles at the end of the season, you have 8-8.
8-8. I think you're going to have I think that's your bigger improvement. 8-8. Huge improvement of what, a 5-victory swing?
Yeah, I think 8-8 is possible, but I don't think it's the wins you said it was. I think we should beat the Browns at home, or the Browns. Okay. I think we should beat the Browns. And I think we can beat the Cardinals. But I don't think
it's a toss-up.
I don't think we'll beat the Eagles.
No, week 1.
Probably not. I mean, but I do think 8-8 is possible. So I'm going back and forth between 7-9 and 8-8.
Well, and I said the Giants. I know the last couple of years the Giants have throttled you guys in Washington. I know I was at one of them 2 years ago, and it was bad, and it felt like I was in the Meadowlands.
Well,
not. I mean,
last year both games were close. They beat us.
Whatever state.
Last year both games were close. Even with the Eagles, both games are close. It's the Cowboys. Both games with the Cowboys got out of hand.
Well, I'm wondering what quarterback's going to be the Cowboys quarterback, Dalton or Dak?
I assume Dak. He's their franchise quarterback. But you're right. I mean, we'll see.
I mean, they paid Andy Dalton pretty quickly.
But it's 1 year. It's 1 year deal.
Yeah, but to me, that's a writing on the wall there for Dak Prescott. Either you have a good year, you're not getting.
I think it's insurance if nothing else. Because isn't Dak a free agent after next year?
I think it's after this year.
This year?
I think it's after this year. I think it is.
Yeah.
So he better have a good year this year. Andy Dalton, clearly being the local guy, will gain Dallas fans quickly. I mean, I think Dak Prescott's overrated. I really do. I mean, I don't think he's all that, in my opinion. But
I think he's like a mid-tier quarterback.
All right, so what about your running game? Like, what do you think is going to come out of that with Darius Geis?
I think if Geis stays healthy, he hasn't. He only played 5 games in 2 years, so there's not much of a sample size. But when he plays, he's really good.
Yeah, I liked him. I mean,
I like. It's be interesting. Bryce Love, guy from Stanford, he was out all year last year recovering from an injury he had in college. He could be a X factor that we don't know, no one's thinking about. But other than that, I think Adrian Peters is a good backup for Geis, but he's not the way you want to go into the season and be your number one back.
No, I mean AP is a Hall of Famer, and the man. I got a lot of respect for him because he took the minimum and he's played well for the Redskins.
Yeah,
so
he's been good. But I mean, we're a better team if Geis is healthy.
Oh yeah, but I think Adrian Peterson, if you keep his carries to a certain amount of game, he's a veteran presence, so he can help develop those guys.
Oh, I agree.
You got rid of Chris Thompson, so I mean, you hope that those guys will be the future, but AP can be the guy that actually develops those guys and helps add that veteran presence and teach them about the prep and the training and the just being an NFL superstar like he is. And Hall of Famer. So, and then what about your receiving core? I mean,
who's that?
Your receiving core. I mean, you got Thaddeus Moss.
I like, obviously, Terry McLaurin's a number one receiver. He's going to be a star in the league. So I also like Steve Smith, the slot receiver. Our number 2 receiver is Harmon, or the guy we drafted from Liberty.
Gandy Gailey.
Yeah, I just don't know. Harmon's a good possession receiver, but he's not fast. And same with Gandy. Gandy's kind of the same thing, maybe a little more athletic than Harmon, but they're almost like the same player to me.
But they could be possession receivers, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for both of them. Or like red zone. Like Gandy, more of a red zone possession receiver. And obviously Moss is an X factor. Thaddeus Moss. I'm interested to see if he can come in healthy. They picked up Logan Thomas from the Detroit Lions. He's transitioned from a quarterback to tight end. Last year he had decent stats for the first time being a full-time starter. So it's still, but you still don't know what you're going to get with that.
No, and I think Thaddeus Moss. So I think he will be a steal. You need a tight end, and if he's like 75% of what his dad was, he's a superstar. Right. I mean, nobody expects him to be like his dad. No. But I mean, I think he's going to be an added addition for you guys. He may help out either Kyle Allen or help out Dwayne Haskins there. So, I think 8-8. I mean, that's what I think you guys are going to be.
I think 8-8 if our defense is in the top 5 defense, 5 to 10 defense.
If you get the production from the ends.
If there are defense that gives up, a lot of points, and it's like a top 20 defense, there's no way they're going to be 8-8 because the offense isn't going to be good enough.
No, I mean I mean also if you get the production from Chase Young and Montez Sweat, the pressure, the quarterback, letting the line pressure, that opens up your abilities there, and the cornerback and safeties to get the interceptions you need, because they're making the quarterback make the mistakes, and that'll make your defense better. So, but I'm going to stick with that 8-8. Okay. I'm giving you the positive from 3-13 to 8-8.
I mean, I'm there. I'm like 7-9, 8-8, depending on if we steal a game from a team that probably should beat us. Right. But then again, it's the NFL. Last year I never thought we'd be 3-3 or 3 wins. So
right. Well,
and the 49ers last year. 49ers were terrible the year before, and they get one guy that
Super Bowl.
Their team becomes really good. They can rush the passer. They ran the ball well. Just they got better and better. They're more confident, and they started to become a good team.
Yep. No, I agree 100%. Well, before we move on fully to my team, so do you think you have a chance to beat us in Pittsburgh?
If Ben's not there, yeah. That's kind of what I have to hope for is that Ben gets hurt. Because I mean, you guys are a better team if he's there. If he's not there, we have a chance.
Yeah. Well, if he's not, we're going to be 3-13.
Yeah.
I mean, or we're going to be 7-9.
You'll be a 500 team like you were last year.
We'll get throttled. We'll go into my. So I'll do the same as you did with me.
Sure.
And I'll kind of tell you what I think after. I'm actually just pulling up the schedule here so I could go down it. So week 1, we play the Giants on Monday Night Football in New York.
That's a win.
All right. Broncos at home. That's our home opener.
The only reason I say it's a win is because it's home, but that's going to be a tough one to win. But I'll give it to you guys because it's at home.
All right. Home game against the Texans the following Sunday.
A win.
All right. Then we go to Tennessee. That's it's in Tennessee. Started off October.
That's gonna be your first loss.
All right, so 3-1 there. Then we got the Eagles at home.
That's gonna be a win.
All right. Then we got the Browns.
That's a win.
All right, so we got 5-1 there.
5-1.
Yeah. Then we got the Ravens in Baltimore to finish October.
That's a loss.
Okay. Then we got our bye week, and then we got the Cowboys in Dallas. To start November.
That's a loss in Dallas. It's tough road game.
All right, Bengals at home.
Win.
All right, then Jacksonville.
Win.
That's in Jacksonville.
It's a win.
Then we got the Thanksgiving night game against the Ravens at home.
At home, but that's gonna be a tough one too. I'm gonna say it's a win, but it's tough.
All right, then we got you boys start December off.
Win.
All right. Then Sunday night against the Bills in Buffalo.
I'm gonna say Buffalo. I think Buffalo. I think Buffalo is gonna be better, and they were good last year. They're a tough team.
All right. So then the Bengals in Cincinnati right before Christmas.
Win.
All right. The Colts at home.
It's a tough one, but I think a win.
All right, and then we finish off the year at Cleveland.
I'm gonna say a loss. What's the record before going to that game? How many wins did I say?
I think that finishes you at 12. That would put us at 12-4 with Cleveland with the win.
I'm gonna say Cleveland wins. Because it's a division game. They're at home. So yeah.
No. Well, so my thoughts a little different here. I'll elaborate quickly. I agree with you on the Giants. The Broncos, I agree. We're going to get that victory. We're going to beat the Texans because Bill O'Brien doesn't know how to handle a GM role.
Right.
Tennessee, I think Tennessee could be a win if Tannehill is the same guy he was before last year. Because Derrick Henry's a beast. But our defense is a top 5 defense. So that's what helps us there. The Eagles are overrated. I don't think we'll have a problem with that. The Browns at home. That's actually the first game where Myles Garrett will walk into Pittsburgh. They're going to get it's not going to be fun.
No,
for
he's
him.
going to get booed.
Yeah. For the Ravens in Baltimore, the Ravens might destroy us that game. They usually do. They're just a good team. The Cowboys, last time we played in Dallas was Ben Roethlisberger's rookie year, I believe, in Dallas. And there was more Steeler fans than the so-called America's team fans. So I don't know. So that one I think we can beat Dallas because I think they're highly over.
So what do you have? What's your record right now?
That means we have a loss to Tennessee and a loss to Baltimore. So that's the first 8 weeks. We're 6-2.
6-2. Okay.
Yeah, that's after the bye week, 6-2. Okay. Then we got the Bengals at home. That's a win, 7-2. Then what we'll do is like we always do is we like to play down to our talent. We'll go to Jacksonville and lose that game like a bunch of idiots.
So you got losing to Jacksonville. Okay.
Yeah, we play down to our talent well. So that puts us at 7-3. So you're saying the Redskins have a chance? What's that?
So you're saying the Redskins have a chance?
No, we're going to be 8-3 after that game against you guys. Because after losing, I'm sorry, excuse me. Let me jump back. We got the Ravens before you guys. That's a short week coming from Jacksonville loss. We're pretty good in prime time at home. So, and we usually split our games with Baltimore. So I think that's going to be a win to get us to 7-3. I'm sorry, 8-3. You guys, we beat you guys to go 9-3. Mm-hmm. The Buffalo game, I'm taking that as a loss because I think number one, it's in Buffalo. Two, Buffalo beat us last year in prime time. I think they're a good team, a good defense. So that puts us at 9-4. The Bengals in Cincinnati, it's a Monday nighter. We should win that one. Ben plays well in Ohio. Actually, I think he only has like 1 or 2 losses his whole career in Ohio.
Wow.
The Colts, I think Phillip Rivers may be beat up by then. It might be Jacoby Brissett. So I think that's a win right there. So that puts us at 12-3. And I think we beat Cleveland to finish the year, even though a lot of the starters might not be playing then. We still win because Cleveland will probably be a disgrace again. And, the river will catch on fire in Cleveland, so I have us 13-3. And actually, I went through that when it came out last night. I stuck to my losses, 13-3. I think the Ravens have a chance to be 14-2. So I think both of us.
So you're saying you and the Ravens are going to be 14-13 wins?
Yeah, we'll be a wild card team at 13. No, actually, with the new playoff schedule, that means we'd just be another seed in the playoffs. Ravens were 14-2 last year, and they got better this year. And if Antonio Brown, there's all these rumors, he's training with Lamar Jackson. His cousin Marquise Brown plays in the Ravens. If that happens, the Ravens might just win the Super Bowl because.
Here's the thing: I think that offense is going to take a step back. Defensive coordinators are going to plan for it. I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they were last year. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong; they're still going to be a good team because they play good defense. They're a good organization. They play good special teams. They're a solid team. But I can't see that offense being that good another year, just because the way they run. It's not like they're a prolific passing offense.
Right.
You stack the box, you can stop them. It's just
right.
I just can't see them being that good again. Don't get me wrong; they're probably going to win either 12, 13 games. I don't think they'll be 42. Yeah. But
I mean, I'd love for that. I like your thinking. I think we're going to have another good year. Our defense. I'm still skeptical about our offense because I don't know what Ben's going to do, and I don't know how our running game's going to do, and when James Conner's going to get hurt because he will. And I don't know how Juju Smith-Schuster will perform. He was horrible last year. Antonio Brown clearly made him look good, and he's not a number 1 receiver. He's 2B at most. He's not even the top 2 receiver, in my opinion. So we have some guys we picked up, so it'll be interesting. I think 13-3 overall, and to move on from my team, but I think there's some good matchups. Like Baltimore plays Kansas City on a Monday night, third week of the year.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a marquee matchup there, and you guys actually. I mean, I think a lot of the fans did not want primetime games.
I don't. 1 o'clock, closed caption.
Yeah.
We play terrible on prime time.
Closed caption. I like that.
Closed caption. Just watch it in who we're playing. Don't televise us. It's embarrassing.
So you don't want us to flex your game against us to like a Sunday night game?
I mean, if we're good, why not? But if we're bums, please don't do that. That would be cool for us though. If we go to the game. And it's like an 8 o'clock.
That would be a fun time, prime time. Yeah. But I mean, we've been on prime time.
Redskins aren't going to be like in it that late. I can't imagine. I mean, I guess they could still be in it, but I don't know.
You never know. I mean, last year, your division was 7-9 and 8-8. I mean, down to the wire. Cowboys, they lost. The Eagles slid in. So I mean, you never know. I mean, but I think there's a lot of good matchups. Like you got Odell Beckham going into New York late in the year. His former team. So I mean, I think that's big. Like I said, Myles Garrett's going to come to Pittsburgh in October, which he will not be received very well. I mean, some of his pathetic things he came out and said about the racism and everything like that. I was like, that's ridiculous. Why would some of the other guys on the Steelers that are the same color would do that? It's like, come on, dude. Are you really that weak? You're a big dude. You look like an idiot. Mason Rudolph looked like an idiot too. Get over it. Your team's not that good.
He's lucky he missed because he could have killed him.
Oh my God, he'd be in jail. Yeah. I mean, you would. I mean, if he would have connected with the crown of that helmet, he'd been dead. Yeah. Which is awful. There's no place in the game for that. So, but I'm just excited. Football. We have a schedule. And I think next week's show. Why don't we break down the AFC East? Because I think that's an interesting one with Tom Brady now not in it, but I think Bill Belichick he's king. So it'll be interesting what he'll do.
It was like you said, the Jets, Bills, those teams are going to be better.
Yeah.
It's hard to vote against Bill Belichick.
Yeah. He's a genius. I mean, he's really good, and he finds his hidden talent, and honestly, that usually gets the victories. I mean, he found a guy, a lacrosse player, like I said, I keep bringing up Chris Hogan, who shredded us in the AFC Championship game for 2 touchdowns and well over 100 yards.
Julian Edelman. I mean, they get these guys.
Yeah, Julian Edelman was a quarterback.
Like, what the heck?
Nobody even knew who the hell Gronk was, and he turned into a superstar. So, I mean, he's definitely he's a great coach. I love how he handles the media. I think that's how I would handle it. It's hilarious. But yeah. So next week we'll cover the AFC East with the Bills, and I'm sure we'll have more to talk about football wise because it's really been the main thing. I mean, and also I'm sure there'll be some other storylines that'll come out of the NFL, at that point. But the last part I wanted to cover on this show, just something I thought, each week we'll add in some things. And so I chatted with you about this, and it's too bad Devin can't join us for this. I had me thinking the other day because I've seen like on Facebook, I've seen on different things where they're actually on YouTube covering full episodes of old school cartoons like He-Man and G.I. Joe and some other one. And it got me to thinking, it's like, wow, you look at the cartoons when we were growing up, then you look at the cartoons like, what Devin was watching when he was little, and then I look at the cartoons today, which you see those still with your daughter, and I see it with my girlfriend's kids, where it's like, what, compared to what we watched. I mean, everything is educational now. Yeah. It's not the same where you just come out of school and you're watching a G.I. Joe episode, or Transformers or He-Man and, watching the Smurfs or whatever, but I mean, it's changed. I don't know. What's your thoughts? What's that?
It's changed a lot, and some good, bad. Like, so like my daughter watched like Bubble Guppies. You ever seen those?
Oh yeah.
It's educational, but it's also fun.
Yes. Hang yourself after watching it,
right? But I mean, like I said before, I love SpongeBob. It's one of the funniest cartoons ever.
Well, adult humor.
Yeah.
Simpsons. I mean, it was back when we were doing. They're still around.
Right. Exactly.
Family Guy's a great one for adults. But
that's not for kids. Family Guy.
No, that's for us.
Hilarious.
But what was your like? I can tell you my favorite cartoons when I was growing up were like Scooby Doo, Flintstones, G.I. Joe, obviously Bugs Bunny, and things like that. Tom and Jerry. But was there any particular one? Like G.I. Joe was one that I didn't miss much.
Wildcat or
Thundercats.
Thundercats. I was big on Thundercats. Lord of Omens. Thundercats. What else? Obviously G.I. Joe, Transformers.
Yeah.
You remember? What was the brand that was against not the Decepticons, but there was another Transformer that came out, but it wasn't Transformers. Autobots, yeah.
Yeah, it was the good. They were the good guys.
Yeah.
The Decepticons, I think, were the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not mistaken. I got Bumblebee and Optimus Prime and I mean I can remember having that stuff. I mean G.I. Joe, my dumb self. I swear my parents were always getting me all kinds of G.I. Joe stuff, and I'd have it set up in my spare room. And then as I got older, I moved it down to my basement. I'll never forget my mom, I think it was my mom or dad, asked me, do you want to keep this or we're going to give it away? Yeah, give it away. Well, some of that stuff was not even open. I didn't even open all of it.
Oh, wow.
So kicking myself, because you know how much some of that stuff could be worth, getting. I'm like, what am I thinking? Like any of that stuff.
Right. You remember a buddy of ours in high school went to his house. His parents had like Star Wars stuff everywhere. I don't want to say the guy's names, but his dad, his parents. I don't even know, maybe his mom, but they had all kinds of. You remember him? Remember that house?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name who that was, but yes, I remember that.
I don't want to say it on here, but I wanted to play with his dad's toys.
Yes. Oh, it's quite odd. It's like, all right, buddy, sorry, your dad has more toys than you. Maybe he didn't grow up yet. I don't know. Maybe he was a creator of toys or something. I don't know. But no, well, the other thing that was different back then, in my opinion,
What's
than
that?
what it is today for kids. Like we would watch Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, Friday nights. Like Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider. I didn't miss an episode.
Yeah.
You know, and then there was other shows that were on there. Like I can think of other shows I watched with my dad.
Did
But
you
then
watch,
on top of that,
did you ever watch
there was
Battlestar Galactica?
a little bit.
Okay.
I was like not
That
like
was
Buck
big on that.
Rogers.
Yeah.
Buck Rogers, like, but then the other thing that's different today than it was back then was like WWF wrestling. So it wasn't WWE. They had Saturday mornings. There was a wrestling, and the pay-per-views were like you really look forward to. There wasn't like 50,000 of them.
Did you
And
ever
I
watch
used
the
to
cartoon, the WWF cartoon?
Oh yeah,
There was actually a cartoon. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So it's like we had all these like options, but then on top of that, we were outside playing, doing other stuff. Today, man, if you don't have a phone or an iPad in front of you or a computer, it's like you're weird, you know, and they're so glued to it. Like we could be having a conversation with our kids right now and it'd be us talking to ourselves.
Exactly.
Because they don't even care. And it's like you look at when Devin was growing up, like when he was probably like 5 to like 8 or 9 years old, it was Bakugans which is still out now. My girlfriend's son plays with them. Then there's Power Rangers was huge back then for him. That's all he watched. I was like, oh God. And I remember him and I were talking about it this week. He's like, Dad, you didn't like that? I was like, I put up with it.
Power Rangers was awful.
Yeah, I put up with it. I wasn't a
awful.
big fan of it. That's for sure. It was weird. And then actually I was able to successfully skip over my kids with the Wiggles. They never watched it. If I saw that on TV, it was like, oh, and I would quickly go over because I was like, there's no way. But my son, which Devin, if he was on here today, which would be great, he used to watch this show called The Doodlebobs.
What is that?
And it was some goofball kids show where they were all dressed up, looked like clowns in my opinion, you know, and he went to the show and he basically, like I would sit there and watch it. I'm like, what in the hell am I watching right now? You know, and like I thought I surpassed the Wiggles, but I didn't surpass the Doodlebobs. And I just was like, oh man, and I would just scratch my head. It was very comical. But he that was his thing. But now you look at it like kids today, like my girlfriend's kids, like watch, like I said, there's Pokemon, there's
my daughter's into Pokemon. My daughter's into Pokemon, and I'm like,
yeah, I'm lost with it.
But
they have cards and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, trading cards and stuff like that. It's like a big deal.
And she knows all the names.
I was gonna say that, like the Bakugans I mentioned like earlier. Devin played with those when he was a kid, so they're still around and they're still very relevant. So some things have carried over, but I think the cartoons are so much different now than what they were when we were growing up.
Oh, it's not even close.
And I think, and there's so much going on outside of like, we didn't have Netflix, we didn't have tablets. You know, I was happy when I got ColecoVision and Atari 2600.
Right.
You know, and when I got I mean, none of that. I mean, they have cell phones by the time they're very young. You know, I didn't get a cell phone. I think I was like, I don't know, I was like 21, maybe 21.
Like early 20s.
You know, yeah. So it's like
it was a flip phone or like a. You remember the Direct Connect, Nextel Direct Connect?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, the little walkie-talkies. They were cool. I thought it was cool. I had a flip phone one. Yeah, so it was really cool. So, but no, it just was interesting. Like the cartoons had me thinking because like Devin was making fun of me watching, G.I. Joe on YouTube and how silly it was. I was like, dude, this was the cartoon of choice, my man, after school.
Exactly.
That and you remember you get them from school, you have like 4 to 5:30 or whatever. It was cartoons, or 3:30 to 5:30. You had Transformers, G.I. Joe, and whatever else, He-Man and Thundercats, which obviously seems to be your personal favorite. But no, I thought it was pretty cool. Just interesting to see how they've evolved over the years. And I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be biased because I like my cartoons, and they're different now.
I like our cartoons, but I still say SpongeBob is the greatest cartoon ever ever.
I gotta agree with you on that one because the
Just
adult
because
humor and
the inside humor for the adults and
Yeah.
just how it
You can put
entertains
up
the
with it.
kids and like it's just
Yeah,
hilarious.
you
SpongeBob's
can
hilarious.
yeah, you can put up with it.
Yeah,
And actually you can get those jokes that the kids won't get because they have no clue what they're talking
exactly.
about. So but it's pretty cool. But anyways, I just figured to share on that. I think every week we'll come up with something we're going to share.
I like that.
I think
Sounds
to
good.
break up the monotony a little bit, and we can discuss that. And hopefully entertain everybody. But I think obviously, it'll be curious to see how the NFL schedule goes on and how our teams, since we picked what our teams are going to finish and everything like that. It'll be very interesting, and we'll see if we get to go watch our game in December in person or if it's going to be somewhere else. But
Well, if we can't
that's all I got today, man. You got anything else you want to cover?
No,
anything?
I think we're good. It's a good podcast, and can't wait to dive into each division and what we think they're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, well, join us next week, guys, for the next podcast, and I look forward to seeing you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.